Welcome back to another episode of What Are You Made Of with your boy, the unstoppable Mike C-Roc. I'm in the house today with a guy that I met through Greg Reed at one of his Secret Knock events. And guys, listen, in the journey of success, sometimes you get a chance to come across an individual who's really walked the walk and delivers straight from the heart. Erik Swanson has done just that. He spent the past 18 years working and sharing the stages with top experts such as Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor, and many others. And by the way, when I say these names, if you hear Erik today, when you get to hear Erik, you're going to feel like he belongs right in that mix. He might not admit it, but he does. So I'm just going to say that right now. And he's been with many others as well. The best-selling, others from the best-selling book, The Secret, as well as the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill Foundation. His main mentor, Brian Tracy, taught him the value of surrounding yourself with thinkers, educators, and motivators of the day, which skyrocketed Erik's success in teaching others how to think, act, and grow. Let's go, man. Let's welcome Erik to the What You Made Of show.
Man. Keep going. I want to hear more about me, man. This is awesome.
I think you're going to have to pay me if you want me to anymore.
All right, let's do it. Here,
anyway, Erik, look, we have a tradition here to start the show the same way, because if I don't do it now, I usually get down a rabbit hole and then I forget to go back to it. So my team gets mad at me. Erik, what are you made of?
Oh, I love that. And I love the way I have to tilt my head to read that. I love that. What am I made of? You know what I'm made of? I'm made of awesomeness. It's one word. It's right there. It's literally, and there's a story behind that, by the way, because I never knew that I was made. Well, I had a feeling I was made of awesomeness, but then I was like, I got to dig deep and find this awesomeness. And that's what I really feel like I'm made of. And now awesomeness means a lot of different things to me and to the world. And it's not about me being awesome. It's about everyone being awesome together and growing. So much like what you're doing, man, with all of your followers. I love it. So I'm made of awesomeness.
All right. So I think I know the story. I want to hear the story, but before we do that, let's define what awesomeness means to you. Like, what does it mean?
Yeah, it means finding your true genius or gift or passion, all of those three things put together. It's really like, I'll give you an example. Like if I put you in an environment and I said, okay, you go have a good time or go inspire people, but you're not an inspiring type of person. Like let's say you're a follower rather than an inspirer. You're not going to live authentically through that. So for me, being awesome is being your true self, your true authentic self, authenticness, and finding that. And a lot of people don't really find that through their lives, I believe. I think it takes there's stories upon stories I can share with you, but in a nutshell, it's just literally just finding it, but then accepting it. There's a difference there, right? I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people can find what they're looking for, their passion, but then if they don't truly accept it with all their cells of their body, like I truly embody awesomeness. I truly do. And it doesn't matter what other people think. That's the key. I truly embody it for myself. Do you follow me on that?
100%, man. Yeah. Like, well, first of all, I've been talking to my team. I have a large mortgage division I run. I've been doing this since 2005. But I have a great leadership team, which allows me to do all the other things that I do with tech and everything else. But what we've been talking about in this group, because it's a difficult time in real estate and mortgages right now with rates and what have you. But we've been talking about the fact that we can do just what's good enough, or we can go for greatness. Sure. And we're leaning into that for the remainder of this year into 2023 with not just work and our vehicle, but everything that we do, like across everything. When I'm running businesses, the business itself is just a vehicle for us to build people. And so I love what you're talking about, with awesomeness. I mean, it relates to greatness. I mean, it's the same thing, but I think that it's important, like, to understand, like, prior to you figuring this out and finding your flame, we call it like staying in your flame and getting other people to surround yourself with other people that have their own flames that complement you. That's what the total awesomeness is, right? Before you found that out though, like how was your life then? And what were you doing for business? And were you kind of grinding along and not really fulfilled? Like, can you talk about that part?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's make me cry in this interview. That'd be, because
by the way, a lot of people are listening, a lot of people out there, I would say 90% of people are in that situation. They don't have a mission. Okay. They don't know what they're,
So a little, Mike, appreciate it. A little background on me. I started waiting tables years and years ago, in my teens, really, 16, 17, up until 26 years old, until I finally met Brian Tracy, and he became my mentor. I worked with him for years, and so forth. There's a lot of stories in regard to that as well. But to answer your question, I did probably what a lot of other people are still doing, and what they're doing is they're trying to find their passion. They're trying to find what they're made out of, but they're kind of faking it to themselves. And that's okay, I think, to test out the waters, to try different things. Hey, is this me? I'm not sure. Let's try it out. Okay, maybe it's not me. And you're assessing yourself on the way, and then you realize what you really are. And it took me years. It took me a lot of years, because I'll tell you why, man. And this is why I'm having a little difficulty answering this question, because I've always felt that I am and will always be awesome. I've always felt that. Like, dude, when I was 20 years old, I knew it. I'm awesome. When I'm 25, I'm awesome. My nickname back in my 20s, they used to call me Styles, because I would do things in different styles, like my own style, right? So that caught on years ago, and then it turned into then Les Brown changed my nickname, and he actually called me Mr. Awesome as I was getting off a stage one time. I was like, that'll stick. So I've always thought that I'm awesome. The thing is, I kept on hearing other people chatter about it. You ever have that situation? Like, I'm talking to you guys, the listeners here. And by the way, this conversation has zero to do with me. I want to be very clear, because I've already said the word I and awesome like 10 times in the last 3 minutes since we started. But this has zero to do with me. It all has to do with how you interpret it, what I call in my masterminds borrowed benefits. So think about the borrowed benefits that you personally, the listener right now, or the viewer, can take from this and say, okay, I resonate with this. I felt like I was this. I felt like I was that. But I kept on getting knocked down. And that was me, man. I grew up in like I mentioned to you before, I grew up in Maryland as well. I grew up in Bethesda, and man, I got bullied left and right. I was taller this way widthwise than taller, vertically this way. Yeah. You too? Yeah.
Me too.
Man.
I'm 5'6" 3/4.
Okay. Well, dude, I ended up
214.
Okay, so I ended up growing from my sophomore year to junior year of high school. In between the summertime, I grew up about a foot. That's funny. That's a good play of words, and it's true. I did grow up, didn't I? But I grew about a foot, man. And I was like, why am I letting these people, bully me and pick on me and beat me up? And, I had to have 3 lunch monies, one for me and the other 2 guys that were beating me up every day. So finally I was like, enough is enough. And then that transpired into later on in my 20s and 30s. I was always feeling like I'm awesome, yet people were kind of quote unquote bullying or laughing at me, saying, oh, really? You can call yourself awesome? Well, that's cute, but that's kind of corny. That's not cool, right? You and I were talking about names, like C-Roc. What a great name, dude. But you kind of had to live into that and grow into it, right? And who cares what other people think? I think it's amazing. It's if you think it's amazing, then you're going to do much better out there in life, and you're going to be able to spread your wings. And that's what I did. I embrace my awesomeness. And if people don't get it, then that's okay. They don't get it. But the people who do get it get to embrace themselves and be vulnerable to embrace themselves.
Yeah. So the people that don't, they just self-select out of your environment, which is a good thing until they're ready to come back into your environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They self-select, or they get on my list. I have an elephant list and I have a donkey list. Okay. So the elephant list is great. You write down 10 names of people you want to start surrounding yourself with, like I did with Bob Proctor, to, Make-A-Wish Foundation founder, Frank Shankwitz, to my dear friend, Sharon Lecter, who I co-write a lot of books with, and just a lot of really cool individuals. So I put that on my elephant list. Then I have a donkey list. Okay. You write down 10 or 15 names of people you should not surround yourself with anymore. And just start dissipating that time with them. To stop surrounding yourself with people who are not going to support you and support the vision of awesomeness, or whatever that word is to you. Right. So that's what I do. Now, don't call them and say, hey, you made the donkey list. Right.
No, but that's antagonistic. Yeah, you don't want to do that. No, but so I will tell you, like, when I was in college, I was playing college football, and I that's when people started calling me C-Roc. And I truly stepped into it too. Like what you're talking about. I had a license plate on my first, not my first car, one of my first cars, C-Roc. As a matter of fact, it got ripped off by the haters. Ripped off.
No way.
But when you really step into that, though,
yeah,
like you really stepping out. If you're not prepared, I got into situations where like I thought I was a tough guy. This is back when early college days, right? And I started fighting a lot because I thought I was a tough guy. So if you're not in the right frame of mind and you embrace that superhero, you become more of a villain. But when you're in the right frame of mind and you take that, we call it being, this is my superhero. C-Roc's my superhero. Mr. Austin, it's your superhero, man.
Yeah.
And so when you take that and embrace it, you do get a level up. Like you do, it helps you escape all the stuff, like the beaten down person and by the way, I think a lot of us that become speakers and motivational teachers, mastermind leaders, and all that, I think a lot of us went through all this, the bullying and things.
Oh, I believe so too. Yeah. In fact, Mike, I ended up having, you just reminded me, one of my license plate plaques said Mr. Awesome. Okay. On my car. I collect cars, and one of the cars says that. And I remember I was driving in Scottsdale, Arizona one time, and someone ripped off my plate too. Like they vandalized my plate. And I'm thinking about it, are they really vandalizing me, or are they vandalizing themselves? Are they really talking down to themselves because they realize, or they think that they can't reach that, whatever that is, that C-Roc level or that awesome level. Right. And they're really vandalizing themselves, man. I take it to I was just going to take a sip of water here. And I got to tell you, man, I take it to the next level. I'm so awesome. I treat myself awesome every time, anywhere. So I drink out of a chalice. Look at
this. You need some gems on it. You need some gems to turn it into a pimp cup.
There you go.
I drink out of a Starbucks grande size cup with my shots of espresso.
Maybe I should send you a chalice.
I'll take it, man. I'm sending that C-Roc hat to you too. So
nice.
You can put it.
I'm sporting my San Diego. I'm over here in the island down in Coronado, and sporting my San Diego in the house, man.
I love it. Well, look, so something else I was going to say. So when you wanted to meet these people, right, your elephant list, I know how I do it. I didn't understand when I was younger how I was going to do it. I thought people were untouchable, but I figured this out now. But I'd love to hear your method of how you get into the environments of people that that are on your elephant list, because there's a lot of people that want to do that are listening.
Oh man, it's a simple, really straightforward. Here it is. You just need two things: a pen and a piece of paper. Just write it down. Just write down the name. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then put it down. That's it. I'll guarantee you, like a month later, that person will show up.
So true, dude. So true.
It's crazy, man. It's
most people don't believe it though. Most people don't believe it, so they'll never do it.
Well, try it. Just don't believe it, guys, but do it. And then call Mike and I up and say, all right, you guys are right.
Yeah, human beings want complicated, don't they? For them to implement and think something works, they want complicated. When most of the time, everything is so simple, man.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you another thing regarding that. Shoot, what was it?
Most people are stubborn, and you know what stubborn means. I'm just kidding. I'm reading your shirt there. But yeah, most people are stubborn, and you just got to keep it simple, KISS, keep it simple, silly, or whatever you want to call it. Right? So just keep things simple. People try to overcomplicate things. And look, if you want to meet somebody, first of all, write it down. Secondly, why would they want to meet you? Bring the value. Bring the value to that individual. I bring value as much as I can to anyone and everyone in my life, around me that I want to connect with. And look, Greg says it all the time. A lot of people we know say it all the time. We're the culmination of the 5 people you surround yourself with and the books you read. What about the books you're writing? I write tons of books. I've got
how many books, by the way?
My newest, latest ones are right in front of me. My publisher just handed me these. I'm a 13-time #1 bestseller right now of our books, or my books, and then I'm in about 6 other books out there with a lot of other cool cats. But yeah, so So about 13. I think I'm like up to 20 now. I don't know.
Well, show the two that you just said, man. Promote them. Like, what's the title? So,
oh man, I'm not here to promote.
Yes, you are. I invited you to promote.
But here you go.
So, what is it called? Let's see. The Principles of David and Goliath. Okay, I love it, man. Mindset and belief systems.
Yeah,
that's a great title.
Thanks, man. I created this one because I figured a lot of us are getting bullied out there, and are you allowing your Goliaths to beat you, or are you becoming the David to your Goliaths, the success to your obstacles, right? So what I did was I invited 33 amazing authors and 13 celebrities. Like I've got Brian Tracy in this, Alex Stern, my buddy who started Constant Contact, Jeff Hoffman, amazing friend of ours. Let's see who else. Michael Gerber's in here, Joe Vitale's in here, Sharon Lecter, Rob Angel from Pictionary, who started Pictionary, Dr. Nito Cobain's in here. I mean, you name it, man.
Wow,
great stuff. So that's just one of the book series. It's called it's called The Principles of David and Goliath. So if any of your listeners are a little negative or a little, down on their luck, whatever, read this book. It'll inspire you. We teach mindset and belief systems. Then on book 2, so it's a 3-book series. Book 2, we teach goals and goal methods, basically, and strategies. And then book 3 is all on action and implementation. So it's a really good read. And then this one, 13 Steps to Riches, is based on right here, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. 13 Steps to Riches is a 13-book series. This is book 1 with my friend Dr. Denis Waitley wrote this one with me. So this is each of the 13 steps that are in here. We highlight in one separate book. So
but when you have the book, like it says 13 Steps to Riches, how do you differentiate besides the co-author? Is there another thing on there that says what book it is?
Yeah, of course. So in 13 steps to, in Think and Grow Rich, there's 13 steps to riches. So if you go into this book and read each chapter, you'll see chapter 1 is on decision. I'm sorry. Chapter 1 is on desire. Excuse me. Volume 1 is desire. So chapter 2 is on faith, which is my other friend Sharon Lecter wrote this one. Boom.
Okay, so then that one's on faith. That'll say faith under there. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
I see it.
Yep.
Well, who did the one on sex? Like turn sexual energy into focus? Because I could do that one, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be funny.
So it's funny you bring that up. Actually, what I've done.
I want to know who did that one. Who did that one?
So that one's coming out. So each book comes out every other month. We have a bestseller coming out. Okay. So that hasn't been written yet, but I believe Laurel Langmeyer is going to be writing that one, and it's on transmutation. If you think about it, what we did was I feel this is a modern day, this whole 13 Steps to Riches. This one's on decision, by the way, with Dan Clark. Amazing.
I love Dan.
Yeah. And the foreword was from Bob Donnell. So, and John Asraf's in here, and we've got a bunch of really cool, Kevin Harrington, everybody's in here. So the point is, though, it's a modern day look of it. So what I did was, instead of focusing on all the sex thing, the sex transmutation, I just figure, look, we all have things that we focus in on that maybe we shouldn't. And if we put that down, guess what we would do is build more business or build more awesomeness, right?
It's attention units. Yeah.
There you go. So what we did was we simply moved it to transmutation. So what are you transmuting? What are you putting down and transmuting into awesomeness or success? You're not watching TV as much. So you're transmuting your time over to writing another book. Right. So what are you doing? That's the question. So there you go.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So go check those out. Those are going to be coming out still. Like, how many have been put out so far?
Well, we've got, we're up to book 8 coming up here on persistence.
So over halfway through them.
Yep.
All right. Exactly. So we got to check those out. I'm going to go and take a look at those as well. But so let's talk about something else. Have you ever
heard? I'll tell you what, man, we have one more or 2 more spots left for our next book series, which is called The Book of Influence. And it's awesome. Basically, it's 33 authors. We have 2 more spots left, I think, and 13 celebrities. And it's all based on this book right here, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that's our next book series. It's a 4-book series, and it'll be #1 on all 4 of them. Pretty cool stuff.
Love it, man. Love it. And so I want to ask you this, and well, let me ask you this question first because it has to do with this. So when you finish a project or you don't finish a project before you decide what's next, the future calls and creating futures is so important. Like if we don't think to ourselves, like what's next, then we run into a situation where we lose momentum. Are you thinking about your next project before you get done the ones you do? And then, how do you take it to the next level? Like what is your gauge to make sure like, hey, I'm up leveling each time?
So,
because by the way, you have some of the best authors out there on the planet, right? Like, how do you up level that?
We do. Thank you. So really, really great question. So twofold question. The first one is, yes, I Wayne Gretzky it all over the place. So without a doubt. And if you don't know what that means, guys, you need to, follow C-Roc a lot more, and you'll figure out how to go where the puck is going instead of trying to follow it. So yes, I forecast it. We're working on 3 other projects at all times in advance. One of our next projects, actually, it's really cool. I haven't really announced this yet, but I'll let you guys know a little bit. It's a book series written by kids for kids, and it's called No Kidding. And it's all about building your awesomeness, building your confidence level, not allowing people to bully you. We ran something called Junior Habitude Warrior, which is all about building the leadership skills that kids need, our youth needs, all of us need. So it's going to be a really cool book series. So we're forecasting that in the future, and constantly working on future programs. And then the second part of your question, I allow the universe to help me in a major way. And a lot of people don't allow that. So I'll give you an example. I have team meetings with my team, and let's say we're doing it on Monday mornings or Wednesday mornings. We had one this morning too. If something's not coming to us, then we'll just move the meeting a little bit. We'll do a couple of quick things that we need to do, but then the creative meetings, we're going to allow the universe to come to us. And that's how I up level. So our next book series is going to have 13, because it's my favorite number, 13 amazing celebrities. And guess who they are? I don't know yet. We're going to allow that to come to us, because that timing will be perfect for those people.
Do you meditate? Do you meditate, or like what kind of practices do you do for creativity and just being open?
Yeah, great question. So I meditate in different ways, and I've learned that that's okay to do, which is really cool. So I'm not one of those, yogi meditators and so forth. What I do is, like, I don't know if you can see in the back here, I've got my gravel bikes. I'm into biking. Yeah. So I just take out a bike and I just cruise, and that's one of my form of meditation, and a lot of downloads come that way. I also kayak here. I'm right on the water here in the bay in San Diego. So it's a lot of different things that I do. Also, what I'll do is, like, this past month, I just picked up and cruised up to Park City, rented a place up there for a month.
That's where I talked to you when you're up there. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Okay.
Yeah. I just chilled with my dogs up there and just hanging out in Park City. And it gave me more, it just getting
inspiration, creativity. Yeah. It just opens up. Opens up flows. Yeah. So I have the ocean here. You're familiar with Ocean City, and every morning I go out by the boardwalk, I'll jog, walk, and then I'll go out on the beach sometimes early in the morning and just sit there. And I just started this practice about 6 months ago, and it's made all the difference in the world for me. And like you said, the universe, you put something out there. Once you put it out there, it's out there, and it'll figure it out. There's so much knowledge out there. We don't know. You know what I mean? And it's out there already. There's information out there that nobody knows, that's still out there, that's going to come to us at some point. So as we wind this down,
are you familiar with the 4 stages of utopia?
You know what? I think I've heard of that before, but no.
So I think you are. So there's 4 stages, and I'll see if I can get them right. There's the unconscious incompetent. That's stage 1. Then there's the conscious incompetent. That's stage 2. Then there's stage 3. There's the conscious competent. And then stage 4 is the utopia stage. That's the best stage. That's the unconscious competent. So if you think about the 4 stages, there's the what did I say? The conscious incompetent, which means there's the unconscious incompetent, which means I don't know what I don't know.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
You're not even thinking about it. It's not on your radar. Stage 2 is the conscious incompetent, meaning, hey, C-Roc, we're going to go, climb this mountain and parachute off the other side. You're like, whoa, I don't know how to do that yet. Let me train. Right. So you're conscious about your incompetence, right? Yep. Then you go over to the training stage, and you're like conscious about it. So conscious competent, you know how to do it. and you're thinking, okay, flare this way, good. I'm good with the, the dimensions and the running and so forth, and off the cliff. So, you've trained and now you know it. So you're going over the steps. And then there's the utopia stage where you don't have to think about it as much anymore. It's just second nature.
It's like breathing, breathing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I just read this and that's where I was familiar with it. Just read it in Psycho-Cybernetics.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Have you read that book?
A long time ago, I'm sure.
Yeah. I listened to that on there. So as we wind this down, I want to ask you this. Have you ever heard of the term room tilter?
No, let's talk.
Okay. So I heard this when I was on Russell Wilson's brother, Harry Wilson's podcast. Okay. And it's called the Room Tilters podcast. And they talked about how this general manager, when they first started scouting Russell Wilson, said that he's a room tilter. So when he walks in the room tilts towards him.
Yeah.
And so that hit me and I'm like, holy cow, who doesn't want to be a room tilter? Now, I want to be a room tilter because, like you said, I want to add value to people. I want to create unstoppable people. My mission is all people are unstoppable to live in the life of the dream. So I filter everything through that. So when I walk into a room, it gives me confidence because I want to be a room tilter. I want the room to tilt towards me. So I approach it ahead of time intentionally. And generally that's what I experience. If I go on stage, same thing as you want to go on stage, I'm sure, especially when you're with other people, I want to own that stage.
Sure.
And I want it to tilt. So I've been talking to my daughter about this. My son this morning going to football practice, like, dude, walk on the field, even if it's practice, and make the field tilt towards you. And it'll change everything. But there's also a fine line. Same thing with like Mr. Awesomeness and call myself C-Roc, unstoppable on this, is that how do you gauge, and this is where I want to go with this, how do you gauge not going over the limit and being conceited or just too full of yourself?
Yeah. Okay. So there's two, great question. There's two topics there really, and I'll take the second one first. The latter topic is, if somebody thinks you're conceited or whatever it is, a lot of other words there that you could put in there, so be it. Let them do that. Those are your 80-20. They're weeding themselves out. Right. So that's what I do. And I don't worry about them. And, we're always going to have people talking about us. Everyone's going to talk about somebody. Right. And they're going to talk about, me and so forth.
But before you go to the first part though, but think about this though. Sometimes, I don't know if you experience this, like I lean into my messaging, I live my messaging, but I question myself sometimes, am I achieving enough in the time that I'm allotted sometimes? And I'm very hard on myself. And so sometimes I think like today, am I stepping into who I'm supposed to be and representing? And I ask myself that question, and I don't know, sometimes like I achieve more than most people around me, but that doesn't mean I don't want to compare myself to other people. So that's why I'm saying that question. Like, am I really being C-Roc today? Am I being Mr. Awesome today? And then if I'm not, should I be calling that? That's the kind of way I was leaning in with this.
Interesting. I mean, my simple answer is for myself. I can't answer for you or anybody else, but for myself, I live it 1,000% no matter what. So if I'm not feeling it, sometimes I'll have a bad day or something. But the way I figure is this: I'm not showing up for me. I'm showing up for everyone. It's not only, me being in a bad mood. Look, the show goes on no matter what. And it's the show, quote unquote show, is my authenticness. So I'm always going to be authentic. I'm always going to be awesome. And that awesome, if you think about it, I've left it open where me being awesome, I guess we started on this topic, so we're staying on it. Me being awesome is it doesn't necessarily mean like you have an image of what that means. If you're a Tony Robbins fan, maybe it's jumping on chairs and dancing with 5,000 strangers. That's not me. I will never do that. That's just not me. My awesome is finding the genuineness and the authenticness in each individual that I meet, and maybe doing some kind gesture for them, or helping them out, or inspiring them just with one of my stories that I can inspire them if I'm on stage, let's say. So that's my awesome. So what is your awesome, or what does C-Roc really mean? Are you living your C-Roc life? You are, because you are human, and you're always going to have, Jim Rohn used to tell me this, it's an 80-20 rule. There's going to be times that we're not going to be at 100%. There's always peaks and valleys, but it's it's the longevity of the marathon. What makes you C-Roc? What makes you
consistency.
awesome? Yeah. And most people, like you and I just talked about, most people, we're, maybe our attitudes, yours and mine, is a lot better than most people's in most rooms. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to guess that. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to consistently be the amazing person that I am, because it's true to me and it helps others. And the stage, by the way, could be a Starbucks, like you were in Starbucks today, or yeah. The stage could be anywhere. The stage could be the beach, and just a simple wave to somebody or helping them out. I was in a store yesterday, and this woman, clearly somebody lost their kid. Their kid was, I don't know, 3 years old maybe, and he's running and behind all these things, and he hid behind a mannequin, and then he gets underneath and he's like hidden. Like, I don't know, it was a really good game of hide and go seek. And I was like, to the woman, she was way at the other end of the store. I'm like, come here. Right. And I go, you go that way, I'll go this way. We'll catch them, So it was just little things like that. And you know what? She probably thinks that was pretty awesome, because she didn't have to go 100%. And freak out and, call her spouse. I lost the kid again, stuff like that. Right. So
yeah. So, and then the first part about, like, have you approached the stage and approached podcasts, approached things like a room tilter?
Yeah. Okay. Really good. And this is going to sound maybe conceited.
It's okay. No,
your audience might think that, but honestly, this is bar benefits, guys. And if you can grab some of this energy. I was just talking to a friend of mine. She's going through a big battle of cancer. And I just text her. I said, hey, where are you? I want you on our mastermind today. And she's like, oh, my energy's pretty low. I go, do you want some of mine? She's like, yes. So I text her some of my energy, right? It's just little things like that. So, this is going to sound conceited, but I don't have to be a certain way to be awesome. So whenever I walk into any room, I'm a room tilter no matter what. I like that term, room tilter. I like that. I used to call it something else. Can't remember what I called it now, but just all eyes are going to be on you because you walked in a certain way, and that certain way doesn't have to be, you don't even have to say a word. You don't even have to do anything wild or anything. It's just that aura of confidence, that awesomeness of confidence, that I think shows and shares. Confidence plays a huge part in success. And I'm not saying that we're not sometimes wrong. Yeah, we are sometimes. We get things wrong, right? And that's fine. But be confident in your shoes and your feeling and your awesomeness, and walk in. When I walk into a Starbucks, I open both doors, when I walk in, and I go, I do, I really do. No words, no sound. I just boom, boom. And I plant, and I look around and I go, nice.
I'm here.
And I
walk, here.
I'm here. Yeah. And there's zero sound, but you'll see like four or five people be like, something's going on with this guy. I'm
100%. And the reason I'm bringing this up is not for us to brag about what we've done. Like, I want to share this so people can implement it in their lives. Like, I've been in places, no lie. I'm sitting in a place. I'm not even speaking at this event. I'm sitting in the crowd, and the guy's speaking and going on and on. And then he sees me and he stops what he's doing. And he goes, C-Roc.
Yeah.
And it was but I know I caused that. And I want other people to be able to do that. Not that I want to interrupt someone's show, but that's a room tilter.
Yeah.
And everybody has the power to do it if they just decide to do it. So I wanted to ask you that. I love that. So yeah, look, Erik, I appreciate you coming on today, man.
Let's change that word. By the way, I like the first word. I don't like the cause. I like the created. You created that. I like that word. That's a really positive word. I created that. You just said you created that instead of you caused that. Cause tends to be like, oh, that's a cause. All right. Almost a negative way. Like, oh, that's because of that. Right. No, I created that.
Yeah.
I created this experience, this awesomeness. Let's keep going, man. Let's take a quick break. Here we go.
I could go on for hours.
Let's keep on going.
No, I could go on for hours. No, the cause, when I talk about cause a lot of times, is versus being an effect. And, so that's where we throw that in there, but I get what you're saying 100%. So yeah, look, so the next time I see you, we're going to talk about being room tilters, and we're going to have to walk in the same side of the room, because otherwise the room's not going to tilt. because it's going to be balanced. We walk on opposite sides of the room.
Well, let's have it balanced. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's.
I like it. Just
the room
to us, man. Everybody just slides down to us.
Who else wants to be a room tilter?
Yeah, well, look, Erik, I appreciate your time on here today, man. We could revisit this another time, but look, I look forward to doing some things with you, man. I know that there's some synergies between us. There's a lot of things we can do. We have a similar mission, and I just want to be able to help you in any way I possibly can with your mission, brother.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. You're awesome. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you coming back. All your support. Go subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Please rate and comment this. If you liked what you see, let us know. I mean, I want feedback because I can keep bringing guests that you want to be on here. And also, if you'd like to watch these and see our handsome faces, YouTube, Mike C-Roc Ciorrocco. Until next time, be unstoppable.